This week on the Digital Coffee, it is all about the gram. We've got new Instagram insights for business pages. We've got scheduling Instagram lives, and not about Instagram, but still important, the Facebook rebrand. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. Thank you for joining me. And as I grasp my mug of tea, well, it is empty. It is sad and it is empty because I really want to fill it with coffee, but I'm not allowed to have coffee before I do this show. So do let me know what is in your cup. If you are watching on Facebook and you leave me a comment so you can tell me what beverage you are enjoying while watching this show, I will send you a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper by Messenger bot. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see a comment pinned to the top of the live chat or in the description. It's a link where you can go and get the same by email. So welcome to the show. We do have a question of the week. It's the question every social media marketer has been asking you this week, to be honest. What would you call Facebook? Clean answers only, please. What would you call Facebook? Good morning, Catherine, who is drinking peppermint tea. Great to see you here. Noticed that my email this morning went into the promotions tab, which is most annoying. So I know some people who would normally be here may miss the notification. But again, I'm guessing you were drinking peppermint tea. That's not what you would call Facebook, but actually that's probably one of the most interesting answers I've seen for what you would call Facebook if it wasn't called Facebook. As I said, lots of Instagram news this week. We've had so much Twitter news recently that I was really surprised to see there is very little Twitter news this week. It is all about Instagram, and there's some really exciting updates. Before I get onto the news, I do want to remind you that at 10:30 a.m. on Twitter, I do an after show for this with May King Sang, where we talk about all these news stories. May King chips in. Anyone else that wants to join in can chip in with their opinions about those stories. So do head over to Twitter at 10:30. You'll see I have pinned that space to the top of my profile, so you can just click in from there to join in, and we would love to see you.
You're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Slowly, Instagram insights are getting better. I mean, it's taken them years. And every now and then they add a new little piece. And in the latest update, they have added something that I find hugely useful. And this is, they've added it to their audience information. So you've got your demographics that you've always had. But now you can actually see how many people that you're reaching are your existing followers and how many are new people. And actually below that, it even breaks it down into where those new people are coming from. Are they coming from stories? Hint, no. Are they coming from the feed, or are they coming from reels? You can also, in your engaged, you can see your engaged audience. So depending, as long as you've got over 100 engaged people, which, because I'm not much of an Instagrammer, I don't, you'll be able to see more demographic information about those people and the percentage of followers and non-followers there. Why is this important? Why is this that I get so excited about this new piece of information? I think it's the one I've got most excited about from Instagram. Well, to be honest, if you're only reaching your own followers, that's wonderful. You're building your brand, you're getting people to know you and trust you and buy from you. But it's going to be static. You're never going to grow that audience. Some of those people will drop off. You do need to reach new people. And if you reach new people, you will build your audience, or that's the theory. What this will tell you is, yes, you're reaching lots of new people, but maybe you aren't getting followers from that reach. And that gives you something to work on then. That tells you that you need to go and see why it is that those people that you're reaching aren't following them. Maybe like me, you're having fun with reels, but you're not really making it interesting enough that somebody goes, oh, well, I must follow her because I'm obviously going to be seeing great information from her in future. Or maybe the same with your feed posts. Maybe you're sharing inspirational quotes that lots of people are seeing, but it's not enough to make someone want to follow your account. And that is why I'm excited about this. I am going to be delving into this in more depth, probably this week, in the next couple of weeks on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching on YouTube, just make sure you subscribe and click that bell thing, and then you'll get a notification when I do my deep dive into these new analytics. Good morning to James. Hello, James. James now always joins us for the Twitter chat, so it's great to see you here. Drinking coffee. Taylor's Lazy Sunday whole beans, home ground. Now that sounds very fancy. I would say where it's from, but a lot of my controls have just covered up your comment. But that sounds great. I can't wait for my cup of coffee afterwards. And it's only cheap stuff because it's not payday for another week when I usually buy my coffee from fancy coffee places. Good morning to Ginny. Sorry you're late. I grabbed a second cup of tea. I managed to get my 2 cups of tea in this morning. I'm so happy. Normally I'm stressing and I don't manage to get the second one in. It has no relation to the news whatsoever. Good morning, Making, who of course you will see if you join our Twitter chat, our Twitter space at 10:30 a.m. Drinking hot water. Now, Making is the tea person. I'm wondering why she's only drinking hot water when she must have 20 at least different types of tea in her cupboard. Maybe you can enlighten us.
Hey, it's Andy at Content Cal here, and you're watching A Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Most small business owners and most marketers, as far as I know, use their computer all day long. They're on their computer all day long. And that means that Instagram is a little bit of a pain, because if you want to post to Instagram, you either have to pick up your phone. You know what happens when you pick up your phone, don't you? You go down that social media rabbit hole and emerge sometime later, several hours if you've been watching TikTok. Or you can use Business Suite from Facebook, which is horrible and glitchy and doesn't have many of the functions that are built into Instagram. And that's why I am excited that this week, although I don't have it yet, Instagram, this week Instagram say they are rolling out posting from the web to all Instagram accounts. So basically you will not need to pick up your phone. You will not need to go into Business Suite and click 20 buttons to even get to post a post. You'll actually be able to go into Instagram.com and upload photos and videos to the feed. Now, I don't have this yet. I put a call out on Twitter yesterday to see if anyone had it, and the screenshots I've seen are kind of vague. Vague's become my favourite word. Just thought I'd slot that in. Vague, very vague. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to work or what it looks like, but I do think this is going to be a massive time saver for social media managers, of which I know we have some here. So you'll have to let me know, do you have this yet? And is this something you're going to prefer to the other tools that you're currently using for posting to Instagram? Actually, probably small business owners more so, who are only managing one account, because I'm sure if you're managing multiple accounts, you're possibly using a social media management tool already. And this is just for feed posts at the moment, but there is the suggestion that you will be able to post stories and reels in the future. Lots of people here. Good morning to Penelope, boiling the kettle for your decaf as you listen in the kitchen. Oh, I'd really like another cup of tea. Good morning to Deirdre over on YouTube. Great to see you. Jay says, what would you call Facebook? I've seen some hilarious suggestions on Twitter. Well, as long as it's clean, let me know what you would call it. Penelope is saying Instagram on the laptop will be bliss. The rabbit hole has come to me. Yes, that rabbit hole. We'll be talking about it later as well. It is a nightmare. James doesn't have Instagram desktop posting either. You know, they made an announcement saying we're all going to get it. maybe we all have to wait. Or maybe they've given it to some people, because I saw Sarah Tasker, who is Me and Orla, on Instagram. I saw her on Twitter talking about it. So some people have it, but maybe they're rolling it out slower than they implied in their article, which is annoying.
Hi, I'm Carmel Siri and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Instagram live streaming is probably the most basic live streaming out there. And I think that's what makes it kind of good, you know. You can't, you're not supposed to anyway, attach a third-party tool. So it is just Instagram Live. It's very basic, adding people in. You know, recently they've allowed us to add up to 3 other people and have an Instagram live room. But basically that's it. And it is part of the joy, I think. It's raw. It's in the moment. It's what Instagram was always supposed to be. But this week they have launched a new feature for Instagram Live that allows you, and I've been messing with this over the last few days. I haven't actually gone live, but I don't know, people get notifications every time I schedule one, but that is it. You can now schedule an Instagram Live up to 90 days in advance. You might just, and I can never work out which way to point here, you might just see the little calendar icon. So you click onto that and you can give it a name and you can schedule it. Then once you've scheduled it, you can post it to your Instagram feed, which is, it's amazing because there is nothing on our Instagram feed that we can do other than post a photo or a video or a carousel. You know, unless you pay, there was no call to action. So when you go and post it to your feed, you have to choose an image. And when it posts to your feed, a tiny little calendar icon, it's this big, appears at the bottom left-hand side of your post. And when people click on it, they can see the time, they can see the date, and they can sign up for reminders. Now that is so tiny that if you are going to do this, you're going to need to accompany it with a graphic that tells people what it's about and even put a big old arrow pointing at what they need to do. But I'm impressed by this, because if you think about it, before, if you wanted to promote an Instagram Live, maybe you had a great Instagram subject, you'd have to do it in your stories. You could use the countdown sticker, you still can, and people would be able to click on the countdown sticker to get a reminder as well. So, I mean, that does work. And you can talk about it relentlessly. You can choose a time when you know most people are online, so they're more likely to tune in. But that's all you could do. Now, with this post, that's going to give you a link. So you will be able to drive people to that link to sign up from your email. You're going to be able to share it on other social networks. You're going to be able to share it in your stories. So I think this will be a massive improvement. And, you know, there is a possibility that I would, particularly if it was an interesting interview subject, sign up for a live stream. I can't wait. I can't wait to see this in action. Oh my God. Wait a second. Look at this. Ginny has Instagram posting from desktop, Ginny. You wouldn't mind taking a screenshot and sharing it with me on Twitter, would you? I'd love to see what it looks like. You know, even where is it? Where is the button that I press? Or just tell us here. I'd just love to know. Great stuff. I'm very excited for you, Ginny. I hope you're still there and you haven't just gone and posted a million things to Instagram while I was talking.
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
It seems a bit mad, doesn't it, that you can upload a 60-second video to Instagram stories, but then it chops it into 15-second clips, of which you have to decorate each one separately. I've been caught out of this for a while. I've been caught out with this a few times even, you know, and I posted the first one forgetting that I have to go and decorate all the others. Seems a bit mad, but not anymore, because apparently Instagram is working on giving you the option to upload your 60-second video and making it one clip in its entirety. So within Instagram stories, you will be able to put up a 60-second video clip. Now, From a viewer's point of view, I'm not sure about this because I do not like it when somebody just talks into camera non-stop and there's all the tiny little dots at the top. I'm not sure I'm ready to watch a whole 60 seconds of someone talking into camera. But the good news is that you'll be able to share an Instagram reel in its entirety into your Instagram story. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, you may ask? Why would I do that when I know I get reach from my Instagram reels? Well, let's think back. Some people only look at the Instagram feed. The only people pretty much who see your Instagram story are the people who follow you. And some people only ever look at stories. And some people, I'm sure, only ever look at reels. A lot of people never look at reels. You know, Instagram is pushing hard to make them do it. So this way you're going to reach your existing audience with your Instagram reel. That piece of content that you put so much effort into creating will not just work for you for gathering your new audience via reels, but it will also help you nurture your existing audience if you post it up into your stories. It also matches everything else on Instagram. Now it's 60-second videos everywhere. It's 60 seconds maximum on reels. Most of the time I wouldn't go that long. The 60 seconds in the feed, now it is 60 seconds, or it soon will be 60 seconds in stories. In other big news, Catherine has Instagram posts to the feed from desktop. I don't know which Instagram god I need to look at to get it, but I shall keep checking. I would love to see what that looks like, so please tell me. Deirdre is here. I think the word Facebook is fast becoming an expletive in itself for you get what you pay for. Often you don't. Brain twister, aggravation, you get the idea. And you know, people are saying, oh, well, rebranding won't make any difference. I think the Facebook app is going to be the Facebook app. I think it still will be. But the company itself does have that opportunity to distance itself from the controversy because, you know, I love Facebook. I know I give it a lot of grief here, well-deserved grief, but no, I am who I am because of Facebook. I love talking to my friends. I love getting advice from other business owners. But the word Facebook does make me cringe. So I do think the rebrand could do it some good. Although, as I said, I think the Facebook app is always going to be the Facebook app. Oh, and I haven't even covered that story yet. So here we go. I've got all confused now.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Twitter is a pain for social media managers because if you want to share if you want to let someone have access to your Twitter account, it's not as straightforward as it is on the likes of Facebook or LinkedIn. You can't just make somebody an admin. Now there's ways around that. There's third-party tools, there's Twitter tools that you can use to get access, but it's still a pain. But it might not be for very much longer. I can't believe it has taken Twitter so long to consider this, which is called account delegation. Now this is in the works. They haven't even launched a beta of this yet. This has been found by Jane Manchon Wong, who found it in the code for Twitter. But it looks like account delegation. All we know is the name at the moment, account delegation. But doesn't that sound like you will be able to give people admin access to your Twitter account like you can on Facebook, like you can on LinkedIn? That it will be some sort of page management role. If this is rolled out, this is going to be huge because it just is a real pain. I don't even manage social media for other businesses, but I do manage ads for other businesses. There are easier ways for them to let me into the ad account, but it's harder to let me into the main Twitter account. I think this will be brilliant for social media managers. So thumbs up, Twitter. It may be the only news from you this week, but it's good news. Right, Ginny is, right, I'm going to move this up the screen so I can read it properly. The button is at the top left. So this is for posting to Instagram from the web. The button is the top left alongside the home message and the notification options. It gives you the usual options, but no post to Facebook option. So when you go to upload, you can't cross post to Facebook or the shopping product links. So I'm not sure if I'll use it, as I tend to use the business suite in Facebook. So there's still some features missing. And yeah, you know, as well as a social media manager, you know, probably navigating business suite is the easiest way for you to manage multiple accounts. But I would say for a small business, maybe this is going to be the easier route. Thanks so much, Ginny. Thanks so much for sharing what it looks like, because I've been trying to discover it all week.
Hi, I'm Catherine Mason, and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Facebook are changing their name. It's been in the news. They are changing their name. They are going to tell us what the new name is next week. But I don't think it is the name of the app that is changing. I think they're going to keep the name of the app. But I do think what they're going to do is they're going to change the overall company name. Just like Google did when they changed their overall company name, so the parent company name to Alphabet. That works well because it's very different to Google, but it kind of fits the brand, so I think that worked. Snapchat changed their parent company to Snap because they started saying they were a camera company, not a social network. So the social network sits there, still called Snapchat. I see so many people getting that wrong. And that's because I think Snapchat chose a wrong name. You know, their parent company is called Snap. It's too close to Snapchat. People who aren't on Snapchat started calling Snapchat Snap. It was all confusing. So hopefully Facebook won't call it Book or Face. The face. But it does, what it does is it shows that actually this isn't all the company does anymore. And it has become confusing because we start talking about the Facebook suite of apps, which includes Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, but also Oculus, which is their virtual reality headset. I have one of those, by the way. They're great fun. But all of those are currently under the company. And as the company grows and branches into new things, they're going to be adding new tools. And Facebook is the name of the social network. So by calling the company something else, they do get to say a little bit more about what Facebook is about. And they are launching something big. You know, a while ago, Mark Zuckerberg did these virtual meeting things, which look terrible. They've had these rooms that you could go into in a virtual reality headset. And now they have renamed the Matrix the Metaverse. And the Metaverse, I had to go and look. What is the Metaverse? The Metaverse is basically a virtual reality world where you can access tools and services and join clubs through your Oculus headset, which, you know, I already do, but being an introvert, tend not to talk to strangers there, but that's me. So this is a whole new concept, a virtual reality world we'll all be able to access through virtual reality headsets. As I said, it's a bit matrixy. You can imagine at some stage us all getting like slotted into shelves and just wearing the headsets, but that's a whole conspiracy theory somewhere else. And that makes sense. If that is going to be their main focus, they need to name the company something else. You don't want to have the Metaverse from Facebook anymore. It also will clean up that, you know, on Instagram, it's got Instagram by Facebook. That will become Instagram by whatever their new name is. Why do companies rebrand? Because they want to change the name. Because the name Facebook, as Deirdre said earlier, sounds just cringy, and it could be a name that you're quite uncomfortable with. It means maybe lack of privacy to a lot of people, so it's not a great name for the whole company. You know, Instagram doesn't have the same connotations, and it is just a word that is separating it. Secondly, because they are becoming something bigger than just a social network, they want to shout that from the highest point. So that could be why they want to change their name. And thirdly, I'm sure I had a third point, but it's gone out of my head. And thirdly, just to get rid of that confusion, the Facebook suite of apps. Now, I saw a comment on a non-marketer's Facebook post the other day talking about Twitter, saying that Facebook really needed to go and sort out what it was doing on Twitter. It was all their fault because Facebook own Twitter, don't they? So there is broad confusion now. Just in case you don't know, Facebook don't own Twitter. But there is a broad confusion about what Facebook does and what it doesn't. It could also stop the company getting broken up, which is what a lot of the new legislation is looking at doing, because it does really have a big monopoly on social networks. So what would you call it? I've got a feeling it's going to be something very different. It could be Metaverse Industries Incorporated. Sounds like a science fiction film. Or it could be something, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be. I've obviously done something wrong, because everyone seems to have uploading to Instagram from desktop. Deirdre has it as well. There you go. It's a plus sign in a round cornered box between messages and the discover icon on the Opera browser. James is absolutely right, talking about the Facebook rebrand. I'm sure they paid a global branding agency a lot of money. Well, yes, and I'm sure we'll all be underwhelmed. I don't know why I'm excited about the name. We'll all be underwhelmed. Facebook name change may be just like Air took the communications aspect out of Aircom. Yeah, so then book, face. Wouldn't it be brilliant if they called it face? Sorry. Are you covering the Trump? No, I don't cover anything from that man. Maybe like Standard Life Aberdeen to change their name to Aberdeen without the vowels there. So Facebook becomes... I was thinking of that for FC UK. I had almost forgotten what the brand was. French Connection. I really can't wait to see what comes up there. Right, that is it for the digital marketing news this week. Don't forget, at 10:30 a.m. you can join myself and Mei King Sang to talk about this stuff in more detail. You are welcome to come along. You are welcome to come and request to speak. You do need to be on mobile to speak, just to warn you. We'd love to hear your thoughts about this. And that is it. I will see you same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.